In some news that came out today, apparently Matvei Michkov could be blackmailed by his Russian club to stay in Russia until 2028. On the bright side, though, he said he will be in attendance at the 2023 NHL Entry Draft. We'll be talking all things Matvei Michkov and a little bit more on this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's news edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier, and a quick reminder before we get into it to hit subscribe. Guys, we're on the road to 10K. I know it's far away, but every little subscription counts. If you haven't hit that button yet, do it now. We'd really appreciate it. We got some bad news. And some good news. It's a very strange day in the world of Matvei Michkov, and after the Canadiens have locked in the 5th overall pick in the NHL Entry Draft, he's the talk of the town, him and Will Smith, Michkov and Will Smith. But Jesse, some news came out today that is kind of disheartening. According to Nicolas Cloutier, who has a very reputable, according to him, very reputable and very well-connected guy who knows about the Russian hockey scene, and this guy said that Matvei Michkov's team could blackmail Michkov so that he stays in Russia until 2028. And to explain a bit how, they said, well, SKA could seduce him with large amounts of money and threaten to take him out of the lineup in his final year completely if he doesn't extend with the club. And he said, hey, it wouldn't surprise him. That's 100% their way of operating. Jesse, do you believe these claims? I feel like it's not that crazy. We saw similar things with Romanov when he was still in Russia. I mean, what do you make of all this?
I'm loving the drama. I'm loving the intrigue. You know, even though there's all these things kind of swirling around Matvei Michkov right now, we have to remember that if it wasn't for all these crazy rumors and everything coming out, that we would never have a crack at him with this 5th overall pick. So even though this is a little bit unfortunate news, at the same time, you know, kind of grateful for all the circumstances, bringing us here all the same, obviously. But yeah, this is a little bit concerning because we really don't know which way this is going to go. Like you said, with Romanov in the past, where they were really limiting his ice time and therefore his output. And that kind of puts you in a bad position when you're going to negotiate for NHL contracts and everything else. So, I mean, this has real world effects for sure. I really feel like we're going to figure out a way to get this sorted, though. I don't know. I think we just need to activate James Bond, get him in there, you know, secure Matvei Michkov to the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And actually, if we go back to that tweet and we saw his guy, who's again well-connected, thinks that Michkov will probably get picked somewhere between 8 and 11. And if you guys watched the video yesterday where I went over some mock drafts and none of them showing Matvei Michkov landing at Montreal at number 5, they had him anywhere between 6 and 8 in each of the ones I showed you. But, like, it seems more and more possible that teams are genuinely worried about Michkov. And there's even more to it than this. Not just the possibility of his team blackmailing him, like some Russian teams have done similar things in the past. There's also this situation around his father. Not going to dive too deep into that. Those seem to be debunked. If you look here, they say you'll always see exaggeration about Russian players, highly ranked Russian players coming into the draft. Yeah, they see the father of Michkov died of natural causes. It's been double and triple verified because I'm seeing some conspiracy theories that, his dad wanted to cancel the contract and then he mysteriously shows up in a pond. I'm not going to speculate on that. But all the same, Jesse, this news, coincidentally also, a lot of this blackmail stuff, these connected people, is just coming out now that Montreal gets the number 5 pick. How much of an effect do you think the Montreal media might have had in, like, just really trying to unearth the truth about this guy? Because I feel like they are hounds, and maybe the reason we're seeing all this stuff now is because of our notoriously harsh media.
Absolutely. You know, if there's going to be one team to get him over here and get him over here in quick fashion, you know, it's going to be the media for the Habs for sure. But, you know, I think all the same, there is some silver lining in all this. We are seeing some positive developments with another Russian prospect recently who was able to terminate his contract with the KHL and then able to sign his ELC with the NHL. So I do feel like we'll be able to figure this out one way or another, but obviously a lot of uncertainty at this point in time.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And this other part that I showed you a bit earlier, they said that we should prepare. The team that takes Michkov should prepare for his appearance in North America to be delayed, similar to Panarin and Kaprizov. But we also have some good news on the other side of this, Jesse. Even with this potential blackmail stuff coming over, Sergei Fedotov, representing the interests of SK forward Matvei Michkov, said that Matvei will be present at the 2023 NHL Draft ceremony, but it's important for him to gain a foothold at the heart of the St. Petersburg team, essentially meaning he's going to play out his contract no matter what. And if you don't know who Sergei Fedotov is, because I certainly didn't, Hockey News Hub did some digging around. He is indeed Michkov's agent, but he's not on the current list put out by the FHR, the Russian Hockey Federation. And so he's technically not an accredited agent on their list of accredited agents. It just adds this other level of mystery, but we have heard quotes directly from Michkov in the past saying, quote, "It would be a dream to play in the NHL someday." And you gotta think that the fact that he will be there for the ceremony, gosh, like as soon as he sets foot in that arena, you gotta think some worries from some teams might go down just a little bit.
Absolutely. I think it's very indicative that he is in fact going to play in the NHL one day. He's just going to have to finish out his contract first with SKA St. Petersburg. So that'll be another couple years, but I would never rule it out. Like just the sign that he's going to be there, I'm so excited for that. And like you said, Josh, that just gives me so much more confidence, seeing Kent Hughes kind of being able to name Matvei Michkov, to have the jersey, to have him there. So we might need to be patient, but at the same time, if we're not getting that first or second overall pick, we're going to need to wait a year or two for our prospects to kind of develop anyway. So for me, I feel like it's kind of blown out of proportion a little bit because you're going to have to wait, and what you're getting as a result of that in the end, I feel is very much worth it.
Yeah, for sure. It's high risk, high reward. Kent Hughes is well aware of that. We heard his thoughts. I spoke about him a bit in the video on the draft lottery night, so go watch that if you haven't. But very, very interesting situation, and definitely one we'll have to keep our eye on. Only one other thing to talk about today, Jesse, but it's a bit of fun, right? Some mystery here with Matvei Michkov, but no, there's no mystery about how good Lane Hutson has been, not only in the NCAA, but he has been showing out on the world stage. And if you guys haven't seen this goal, I'm going to show it right now. His shootout goal in the World Championships, like it is just absolute pure filth. I'll play it one more time so you guys can enjoy it in its entirety. Oh, that's a defenseman. Quick reminder, right? That sealed the game for the USA. Lane Hutson playing some overtime with Sean Farrell. Like, Sean Farrell looking good, has a goal in this game assisted by Lane Hutson. Jesse, what are you seeing from him on the world stage? I feel like if anyone had any doubts that he could play against grown men, they're quickly getting qualmed a little bit.
I'm seeing goalies being completely undressed. Did he ever bite on that fake wrister there? Just dirty, filthy goal. Reminding you very much of Suzuki with just the complete control of the puck, but also the poise, the awareness, the head up all the way. Like, really looking forward to seeing that. Great seeing him being used in the overtime with Team USA, that 3-on-3. You got to feel like he's going to be a great weapon for us in overtime, having him with that larger ice surface, able to use his craftiness, his speed, his skill. So another prospect I can't wait to see.
Yeah, and I mean, again, he's playing with Sean Farrell, Team USA, a few Habs prospects on Team Canada as well in this tournament. This tournament's a bit of fun to watch. But Lane Hutson, while his even strength numbers aren't like super, super fantastic, we can just see these flashes though. Again, he's still small, he's still young, he's still got time to gain a bit of weight, put on some muscle, but the offensive skill is through the roof, and in these days in the NHL, that's what you need to be a solid player. But that'll do it for this news edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Help us get our goal of 10K. I don't know by when. I don't want to say the end of the year. That seems maybe a little optimistic, but who knows? Our channel's been growing like crazy, and we have you guys to thank for that. I'm Josh Gosse for my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.